WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. We're at Conrad's. They got branded water. I've had the J.O. Spice is in the. By the way, Ginger from J.O. Spice was supposed to be my guest here at some point today. She couldn't make it, but we're going to grab her before the month's over. So I want to give a shout out to her and her family. Local businesses. Steve Elliott's here from Elliott Family Chiropractic. It's all presented by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I got my state flag. We're letting ourselves play. I got a lottery ticket here for Gregg Landry as well. Steve's already won $5 on the set here today. We're at Conrad's. All brought to you by Goodwill, as well as our friends at Window Nation, where you buy two, you get two free. And the Restaurant Association of Maryland, where September 16th through the 25th, you can be a cheapskate like me, get great deals at local restaurants, and by then, I'm going to be straight salad because 31 crab cakes, 31. It's probably the breweries are going to get me. Probably, maybe.
I'm thinking so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Now, I have two veterans on the program here who have been lifer friends of mine who literally both walked here. They're both 6 blocks away. I called Paul Lamanti, who cut my hair. My hair looks beautiful right now, but I let it down. I'll let it down for everybody so Paul's not angry at me. So Paul might come by if he's not cutting hair. Small business, I was afraid to pull you, but you shut down from one. You're kind of almost Venezuelan. You take a siesta.
I'm at lunch. I mean,
in my culture, where my people are from, they shut down in the middle of the day, take a little nap, right?
I'm a big fan. I definitely take a nap almost every day.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I wondered what you do.
That's why I'm 104 years old.
I thought you were out drinking beer, eating Mexican food every day at lunch. I didn't know.
Not every day.
Not every day.
Taking a nap.
Just on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Steve Elliott's here, Elliott Chiropractic Life, and my friend Gregg Landry, who comes to me through what I do for a living because he married Harvey Meyer's daughter. And Harvey put my satellite dish on Bank Street back in 1985. Harvey was one of my first sponsors in 1992. My first sponsor was Tony Tochterman, and
I remember that.
A man named Peter Martucci at OT's Fireside, and wonderful man. Raises horses out. I should go see him. He's out in Carroll County and out toward Westminster. But then Harvey Myers had the Emerald Tavern, which is in Parkville, unlike Conrad's Seafood, which we think is in Painesville, but Loch Raven. I have these arguments all the time. And so you married Harvey's daughter.
Yep.
You videographied Skipjack's Blast, all that. But my wedding 19 years ago last week as well. So Gregg has done commercials. Gregg was in charge of the Free the Birds commercials. I might need him again next month. So, we've known each other a long time, and you got a whole new business, right?
Yes.
I bet Steve doesn't know this.
I bet he does. I hope he does.
Do you know his new business?
Tell me.
Towson Transfers.
Look at this, see? And you guys know each other, right?
What is Towson Transfers?
Well, thanks for asking. So we take our slogan is we help you rediscover and preserve your precious memories. So you probably have old tapes, maybe VHS or other formats.
I had them this morning. I was cleaning them out of the way. I get new windows. I got to move things.
Yeah. We have a famous story about you and
Part of what
Mike
I'm
Flynn and all that.
Cassettes.
Yeah. So cassettes. Any kind of tapes that you need, we transfer them to digital, so you can edit them, you can watch them. So you might have some back in the storage room or
is
in
there
the
anything
basement.
that's a challenge? I mean, like you have a Betamax.
I do.
You have a VHS.
Yeah.
You have a High 8. Mm-hmm. You have a Pro Set with those big old tapes we had at Channel 2.
Yes.
Those big mothers.
Yep.
They look
Betacam,
like VHS,
SP.
but like they grew in that Gilligan's Island garden where they had, remember that?
Yes.
Big ones, right?
Yes.
The nuclear seeds.
Right, nuclear seeds, right. And then Mike Flynn, and I should have brought the tape. I had my hand on this tape yesterday. I had it last time. So when the Ravens won the first Super Bowl, Steve, you and I were friends then. You were adjusting me. I was sick as a dog that week. I rode in the parade, in the Ravens parade. This is the best story for what you do because I think it's the missing tape, right? So Flynn, that week, and Ozzie had to pay the salary cap hit on this, okay? The week that the Ravens won in Oakland and Saragusa landed on Gannon, when they got to Florida, the Modell family gave gifts to all the players, everyone in the organization, not just the players. Every employee got a bag. And in the bag was stuff and more stuff and sweatshirts and Ravens and this and that and prideful things. But there was the little handheld cameras. Not the big shoulder guy, the one that was this big that you put your hand in. And the whole thing, it was like putting your hand in a glove, if you remember those little cameras. And those are High 8, is that
Mini
correct?
DV.
Mini DV.
Yep.
Mini DV. Have you ever seen a mini DV tape? If I say that to you, you know what it is?
Yeah, they're like this big.
Yep.
Yeah,
You got it. You got it.
They're
Yep.
literally smaller than a cassette, but fatter, right? And they're little square nuggets, right? So he shot I get on the Humvee that morning. I went down there sick as a dog. I was trying to make sure Mulatalo was going to do his fire dance for me. Kyle Richardson, Kim Herring, Mike Flynn, my bunkies, my boys on the team, Spencer, they were all going to come out. And back in the day, you couldn't text. They had just won the Super Bowl. So the chances of me ringing their brick phone and, like, getting them to pick up. So I figured I'm going to go down and do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to go down, look them in the eye, and say, you are coming tonight. We just won the Super Bowl, right? You're not, you told me after the game you're coming. You're coming. And I went down there, and Billick's like, get your ass on a Humvee. You're going to ride in the parade. And I'm like, Coach, I'm sick. I just got back. I don't like parades. You're getting in. It's raining. Coach, it's cold. You're getting in the Humvee. Flynn, Spencer, somebody take him. Put him on a. So Mike's like, hey, get up here, man. You can be my videographer. You're media. Hold the camera.
Yeah.
So literally, I get up there. I have my Raven Flying Bee construction worker hard hat. Flynn took it, wore it. He said it would make me look good. So I had the camera, and the entire route from the minute we left the football stadium, I had the camera, and I held the videotape. Raining in the beginning, turn Pratt Street, the most insane. It'll make me cry to talk about it. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever been a part of. Videotaped it. I'm crying. He's crying. We're emotional. We're showing it. Rain. People are yelling at me, yelling at him. I'm yelling back. Seeing people sitting everywhere. Tape's done. We win up top. Goose has got his kids. Art's doing the Who Let the Dogs Out. All this stuff happens. And then the tape goes with Flynn on February 2nd. Or no, it was January 30th, 2001. I go down to Flynn's house 8 weeks later to do spring training baseball, back when the Orioles let me in. It's 2001. And I'm there, and I said to Flynn, that's a tape, isn't it? I said, let me take that. No. I'll get it processed. March 10th of 2001, that tape, I saw it in Boynton Beach, and that was the end. Flynn lost it. Flynn retired. He came back. He did this. We ate crabs. We go to Costas, and he's on the air with me and I just destroyed him for 17 years on the radio. You can get any tape you want. 2008, 10, 12. Find the tape, Flynn. Find the tape. It's the Holy Grail. It was me and I don't have one picture from the parade, not one, because I didn't have a camera on me. We have one picture of me and Flynn. We look like little nuggets on top. Like you could barely. I'm wearing red. You can barely see me. I had no evidence that I was in the parade at all. None. Plague comes. I bring Flynn on, and the reason I brought Flynn on is his son is a Broadway star. His son has been in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory on Broadway. His son had just gotten the lead in Mrs. Doubtfire. They opened the show on Tuesday, March 18, 2020. And the next day, everybody's got COVID, everybody goes home. He had been rehearsing for this big part, Broadway opening of Mrs. Doubtfire first. So I brought Flynn on just to talk about like life, first week of the plague. And when we get done, I buried him again. I'm like, look, you got time. This is going to be a plague, Flynn. Yep. President Trump says this is going to last 21 days. So you go clean things out. So I like, at the end of the thing, he's like, I'm going to stay on with you. We ended. He's like, I found the tape. And he held it up for me. He's like, I'm going to mail it to you. Where am I mailing it? And I'm like, oh, my God. So the tape comes, FedEx, and like Flynn was holy grailing it. Flynn wanted me to report when the tape arrived. He's like, I want to know that tape got to you. It's the only one. And I swore to him that I had a guy. So this DV mini D thing shows up, and it says Super Bowl XXXV on it in Flynn's handwriting. It's this little tape. And it's like the whole league. It was like I was holding like a little bird, you know? It came, and I said to my wife, I'm like, this is the tape. Landry came over that day and said, I got to get that tape.
Was it Nana's birthday party?
It might have been. It might have been.
It didn't get taped over, right?
But this is an
Thankfully,
example.
no. Thankfully, no. This
People have. So my parents shot video of me when I was a little boy on the old, the little projector, Bell and Howell. What was
Yeah,
the,
yeah. So 8mm
8
film.
millimeter.
Film,
Okay.
yeah, or Super 8, yeah.
There is somewhere in my life video of me as a baby in 1969. I've seen them in my house when I was a kid. If I found my son found that reel,
Yep.
could you do something with that too?
Yes.
What can't you do? Is there any format?
16mm is harder. It's rare. Not many people have 16mm, but that's something that we don't have a whole lot of. But other than that, we're good. You
Is 16 millimeter like real film?
Yeah, it's real film. Yeah, it's
That's
it's
what was
thicker,
in the
lighter.
movie house?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you had the man with the golden gun on video and
Yep.
at the Highway Movie Theater in Essex, that's what it would be.
Right. But any tape
My
format,
first movie.
any film like 8mm, 16mm, 8mm, Super 8, any kind of tape format, and audio cassettes. So I've been getting a lot of audio cassettes lately. It's very interesting.
Really?
Yeah. From 1968, the one I just did earlier today, from 1968. They were just a young boy, and you know how you used to have
This was your garage band kind of thing?
Well,
or
it was a young boy with one of those rectangular recorders,
Yeah.
those old recorders where you just speak into the microphone,
Yeah.
and he was just talking and singing. I mean, how valuable is that, 50 years later? Hearing
Well, how
what-
valuable was my Super Bowl? I mean, I don't know what to say to you other than it was one of the great things I've ever been involved in. And it was completely, randomly, serendipitously captured. We had a camera. It was the most amazing day ever. I sort of lucked into it. It all happened. And then it was like everything else in life, like my prom. I don't have videos of it, right? But it's captured in the way we captured things before we captured things, right?
Yes.
And so it was beautiful in that way. And then when it got captured, he sent it to me on a digital, dropped it for me. So literally, he picked the tape up, and the next morning, it arrived. And I ran out to my wife, and I'm looking at this little MP4, in the little thing in my Dropbox, and I said to my wife, I'm like, I got to get some coffee and get some peach cake and just go back and sit down. I'm probably going to cry. I said to her, I need to lock myself in the room and just figure out, what. I've waited 20 years to get this video and see it. And we turned it on, and the beginning of it's dry, and Flynn, literally, I'm holding the camera, and Flynn's doing the morning show with, I guess, Spiro and Swami. It's 2001, right? So literally, he's doing the show on a cell phone, and I'm videoing him. And then it's every player of that era. You know what I mean? Goose walks by, Dilfer. They're all getting in their limos. Billick, Kevin Byrne. I'm just thinking all these people. And then we turn the corner, and the minute we turn the corner, every part of the video fell apart. The water was hitting the camera.
Oh, gosh.
And the next 4 minutes going northbound past the convention center to Pratt, it's unwatchable. And I'm like at minute 12 to 16 into this thing, and I'm like, no! And then at some point, Flynn literally reached his little meat hook over with the thing, and he went, shh, and he cleaned it off, and the tape became perfectly clear the whole rest of the way. It was like a miracle.
Yeah.
I waited 21 years for the video, and the video was... At least, it gave me a nervous... Did you watch it when you transcribed?
Yeah, I did.
So you knew it was messed up at the beginning, and you knew I was
did.
going to wet myself?
I was hoping and praying like you that it was going to be cleared up, because it was. I mean, this is Baltimore history right there. That
it's sitting
parade
on
route.
YouTube, by the way, and I released the book. So releasing the book, you inspired me to do this. Quite frankly, you don't even know it. So let me tell you, I re-released Purple Rain 1 and 2, and these are books, right? So. By the way, Brian Billick signed this one, I think. Yeah, coach's autograph. So this is Purple Rain 1. You couldn't put pictures. I mean, the pictures are on the back, and it's pretty much a picture-free book. This has no pictures in it. Mm-hmm. So putting these online now, where I have the video of Joe Flacco saying, I don't think I'm the best, I know I'm the best. Or the video of the Super Bowl and Trent Dilfer and audio over at the barn. The books and putting them back online, it's a whole different thing when 20 years later you're like, oh, here's the hour and 15-minute video from the Humvee in the middle of the parade if you want to live it again. I'm indebted to you for finding, because if I would have found that, I don't know what I would have done with it. I guess I would have gone to the internet and said, who knows what to do with this funky format that lasted all of about 6 weeks, right?
Right. Yeah, not very long.
Well, so if people find things, if you find something that isn't that has rain on it? What can you do to preserve older things that aren't perfect when they come to you?
So I had to do surgery last week. I mean, someone had an old cassette, and it had been damaged. It was in their basement for a long time. I think it might have gotten some water damage. I had to take it out of the cassette it was in and literally take the tape out and put it into another one. So we can get that extreme if we have to. And if the tape itself is damaged, sometimes we have to clip out the parts that's damaged and reattach. But there's a lot of tricks that we can do to restore or to save these tapes. So we'll even get a little something out of it.
Steve Elliott's here from Elliott Chiropractic. That voice is Gregg Landry. He's with Towson Transfers. You'll be hearing about both of them. They're my friends. We're at Conrad's Seafood and Crabs. We're at the market. You'll see the fish behind us and folks coming in here today on Baltimore Positive. I would just say that Steve, I cleaned. I moved last year finally from downtown, and I have all of these things, right? And I would say in my life the things that I'm most attached to that are things, right? They weren't the Engelbert Humperdinck autographs that I had from back in the day, although some of those had value. Paul McCartney signed stuff like Billy Joel, like that stuff has value. And then there's it's just a car, it's just a Super Bowl ring, it's just a thing, it's just this, it's just whatever it is. But those pictures of my family, right, videos, and specifically for me, the tapes of my work, all of my audio cassettes in the 90s, my mini discs at the turn of the century that have when Tony Siragusa dies, that I have those things archived, that I can bring them out for my audience, for myself. Goose's death kind of shook me, right, because I went through stuff. I was looking for that picture of me and him in Marino, looking for that crazy CD that he made, that Christmas CD he made in Indianapolis with Trev Albert singing "I'll Be Home for Christmas." So I went looking through that, and you find other things. And I'm lucky, man. I have a functioning CD player. I have a functioning VHS. I have functioning things. Right. And I'm pretty handy about how to convert things. But even I wound up with this thing saying, like, what am I going to do with it? I would just say that if you have a box of pictures or you have video, it can be the most important. I mean, my parents' wedding, even though the marriage didn't last very long, I had this beautiful portrayal of their wedding that I want to preserve, and every family has that. Every family.
That's right. I mean, that's pretty high on the list. If you had a fire in house, what are you grabbing? You're probably going to grab, a box of tapes or a box of photos, and you're getting out.
What you can't replace.
You can't replace that.
Well, yep. You go take him some stuff. What's your oldest format? You're older than me. You were talking about the 60s earlier.
Oh, my mom had a box of 8mm, right?
Yeah.
And she did have it converted, but I would say it was converted a long time ago, and I don't think it was very well done. And if she still has those videos,
I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chloe, my intern this summer, all the stories that were ever written about me, Towson Times and like whatever, I want to preserve them so I can share them on Facebook where you can read it. And we had a generation ago, like back, Joe Enoch scanned a bunch of stuff for me. Love you, Joe, but it was 15 years ago, right? And it was just the DPI and the difference that when I go to share some of it, it blows out.
Right.
You can't read it, right?
Yep.
So this is what I'm going through right now with originals, trying to get nice 300 dot, DPI, so that I can share it out on forever, and then I can throw that old thing, I have all my tapes. I mean, it's weird. Like if I had to throw them in the dumpster, I might break out. It may mess me up, even though I have video copies of it. Yeah. I feel dirty throwing away my first tape of me and Ray Lewis at the barn. Like I don't think I'd ever throw that away, and it's psychological. It's weird. It really is weird.
I'm going through that myself. I have tapes that I'm like, even though I tell people, you can let them go at this point, it's like there's something about letting that go. It's like, oh.
Yeah. I think it's a very human thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to burn my parents' wedding album, even though I have it in complete, you know what I mean? But it's sitting there, and you start stacking up boxes of pictures. I mean, I've got 10 boxes. My wife's got 10 boxes. We grew up in a Polaroid era, right? And then I have this career of videotapes and audio tapes and stuff. The modern era, I do love that all of it lives on a nice little lacy 8 gig hard drive. When I go to find Tony Siragusa pictures, they're digitized, right? But the old days, I was Mr. Photomat. I have a lot of hard pictures of you and me back in the day. Because, you came into my life in 1998, 99, 2000. Yeah. Christmas parties, events, things I did at the radio station. That's all hard picture. We all know how to scan that. But when you get a What's it, mini DV?
Mini DV.
What are the other formats you even see that
So-
I've never heard of?
Yeah, so VHS, and then you had VHS-C, which was a compact version.
I remember that.
The same thickness of the tape, but it was just a compact version. And the cameras were smaller, so that was like
They
revolutionary.
were like little tapes that fit inside the box
right,
of the...
right. And then you would put it in the shell. You would open up and put it into the shell of a VHS.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, so
not me.
that was kind of cool.
I
You were
missed that one.
Betamax? You a Betamax guy?
No.
Well, see, once Bo Derek was in 10, and it came out, and we didn't have HBO, and Caltech Cablevision didn't make it. Steve Elliott's here from Elliott Chiropractic Life. Greg Landry's here from Towson Transfers. Originally, Blue Rock, you still doing commercials? And
Absolutely,
doing
yes.
all that work? I haven't said Blue Rock to you, so
That's
tell
fine,
me what
that's
you
fine.
do.
For
Like in real, other than this, you do commercials.
yeah, television commercials, corporate videos. We do live streaming, all kinds of different things in the video realm as well as photography. We do portraits. We have a nice portrait studio in our office right here, my studio right here on Loch Raven Boulevard, back behind Total Wine. And so anything that you might need, corporate.
Now, what do you call it? When I say, where's your office, what do you say? I'm in...
Well, I'm in
come on.
I'm in Towson.
Okay, East.
I'm in Towson.
See, how can we sit in Conrad's? They answer the phone, they say Parkville. You got a place a block away, you say Baynesville. I would call it Loch Raven, and he would call it Towson, and you know what? It's all the same place.
It is. Yeah. So my zip code is 21286.
No.
So my radio station's 86.
I'm 3-4.
Yeah. So you
are Parkville.
You're Parkville.
I have a
Yeah.
Parkville post office, sir. But
Dude,
yeah,
I
my
had
office,
a Nottingham post office, and there ain't no place called Nottingham.
It's all made up.
It's made up. It's a swamp with a post office.
That's right.
And a Taco Bell.
Used to be White Marsh.
I think it used to be a Taco Bell. Steve Elliott takes care of people and families and the chiropractic world. We talked to him in segment 1. Greg Landry takes care of everybody else. They're taking care of me here. I've had some fried shrimp. We're going to have a crab cake. Greg and I are going to hang out, tell old Harvey stories. You good with that?
Sure. Let's do it.
Better think of a few. I know it's hard to do. Did I ever tell you about the time Harvey and I went to Vancouver for the Grey Cup? I'll tell you about that in the next break. Purple Rain 2 is coming out, chapter 4 today. That was the Ray Lewis chapter. Much superior book. Purple. I wrote them both. Purple Rain 2 is better. So please go check that out as it gets released throughout the month. I'm working on getting the Peter Principles back out. I'm working on my new column. I'm going to break the news to you guys. You ready for this? I'm going to start writing.
Breaking news.
In September at Baltimore Positive. I'm going to go back to my roots. I've decided as me owning WNST and Baltimore Positive and the Baltimore Banner coming online now and having a newspaper format that we need a sports columnist in this town again, like a serious sports columnist. So I'm going to step up to the task and I'm going to start writing again a couple times a week off of games, thoughts, the stuff I say on the radio, but more in my own writing style. And I've been talking to a lot of. It's given me a great chance to talk to people who've done it for a living and pick their brain. Like I pick your brain about, backs, and I pick your brain about saving tapes and framing things and the things that you do. I'm trying to talk to these columnists about what would make a great columnist. What would make you have to read my column every Monday. And I've come up with a new name for it. It's really original. You ready? It's COLUMNNES.
Okay.
Columnist.
Columnist.
I did that all on my own. I'm a marketer at heart. My hair's getting long. I'm tickling my brain a little bit. Greg Landry's going to stay with us from Towson Transfers. Dr. Steve's going to head back down 6 paces east on Joppa Road and take care of it. Give her your phone number. Tell them where to find you. I brag about you. And you know what I love when I come in your office and it says people who referred people and Nestor A's on the board. I'm like, yes, one more listener. One more listener than Chad Steele ever said I had.
I was one of them. I was one of the referrals that I went to.
You didn't know each other?
No, not at all. Nope. But from your referral, I went to him. And he's been treating me for
Elbow
years.
bump on that, man.
Thank
Social,
you,
that's what I'm talking about. All right. Tell me what you do.
What do? I work at 1828 East Joppa Road. It's 410-882-7670.
You're one of the few phone numbers I really know. 410-882-7670. Because I've said it enough.
Yeah.
Numbers I said on the radio.
Yes.
Remember my mother's home phone number?
Yeah, everything's gone now. It's in your phone, right?
That's right.
It's
I
somebody's
don't know
name.
your text, even though I text you all the time. I don't know your text number.
I have no
40 something. I don't even know what it is. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's my name's in there.
That's right.
I'd have 9,999 people I'd have to call to find you before I'd find you. And all the digits. We're back for more. We're Conrad's Crabs and Seafood. We're on Joppa Road in Parkville, East Towson, Baynesville, but I call it Loch Raven. Stay with us on Baltimore Positive.